push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick. Get the show started. Man, what a day. It was a good day today. I had a good show this morning. Nice little psychic reading. For those who got readings, that's awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed your readings. It was pretty cool. I had a good time. I was a bit tired after, but I rested up a bit and no sleep. I didn't sleep. I just rested up a little bit and laid down with my cat because my cat likes to lay down with me. She's always laying down with me. That's my baby. And we're going to go over some news today, this evening. I don't have any windows open as of yet, but I will be opening up right now. I know we got a Tyson De La Cruz to watch, so that's definitely something that we gotta watch that. Let me see where he's at. Gotta go to his channel. Let's go ahead and open this link. But how was your day today? I wonder how was everybody's day today. Mine was really good. I had a good time. Beautiful readings. Oh, we got two Tyson De La Cruz. Oh, we got a back-to-back. And another one that's coming out later this evening. But I think the one for later this evening I will not be doing until tomorrow because I think I'm only going to be here for like an hour and a half. I just want to go over some news with you guys and see what the hell is going on I just had a quick pause of energy. It sounded like a brief pause on my left ear. Let's see. Oh, we do have a Jason A. Oh, okay, but I already knew about the zombie deer. Well, we'll see what Jason A has to say. Well, the reports have to say about the zombie deer, but I already know about the zombie deer. Close up by itself. How fun. System's going a little crazy too. It wants to participate. The camera. I this camera is very good. I like the zoom in feature on it. It's really helpful. Um, but I am looking for some news here. Okay, we got that truck driver from Florida. Um, that bus tour from yesterday. That bus. 5 people passed away, and there was a lot of like serious injuries with that accident. Also, that fire that we saw yesterday over in Louisiana, that whole place actually is gone. Like all those silos that we saw yesterday, well, they're pretty much all gone. They all blew up, and there's an environmental emergency down there because there's a lot of toxic fumes in the air. And remember yesterday where the reporter was like, "Oh, they're just worried about the debris. They're not worried about the chemicals." What a bullshit liar! Oh my goodness, what a liar! Like the worst part is the chemicals, lady. And now all that area is contaminated because it's like you okay, antifreeze is very like toxic. Power steering fluid is pretty toxic. Brake fluid is pretty toxic. The lubricants that they were just putting together were very toxic. I don't know why that reporter yesterday was like, "Yeah, we're not worried about the chemicals. We're worried about the debris." What a fucking idiot! That's how I felt yesterday. I was like, this lady's a mess." We're gonna see a little bit on the war over in between Russia. Let's see what else we got. Um, okay. Still looking here. I'm just going through the news. I just turned on the computer and just going with this freestyle at the moment. Um, that baby Emmanuel was it's so heartbreaking. That boy was abused. That boy was tortured. I believe that boy. We gotta ask the we gotta ask the let's see. We can ask the pendulum. I might integrate my psychicness with what's going on with some of these cases, especially with little Emmanuel. Um, Definitely gonna have to do that. Okay, there's not really anything really big to go on. Huh. Um, I'm sorry for my silence. It's just when I'm trying to concentrate here and see what the hell's going on. Yeah, they're trying to close down Alligator Aquachaz. I don't think that's gonna happen. Just because we need to get these illegals out of here. We need a form and a structure to process and deport. And the Democrats are blocking pretty much efforts to get these individuals deported because you got to understand these are their constituents and this is who they depend on for votes. And the fact that these illegals are voting, it shows the desperation of the Democratic Party. Very desperate. Yeah, there's not much really. Um, I did see some stuff earlier, but there's not really nothing right now. So that's why it's just a hangout. We're gonna go through some news, but it's just basically hanging out. Um, yeah, I don't see anything really going on. Maybe a little bit later, something will maybe pop up. Um, my keyboard is it's kind of finicky. I need to buy another keyboard because this keyboard is not the greatest. It turns off a lot and it's not easy to use. Also, quick announcement: if you want to watch Clash in Paris, I'm pretty sure that's what it is from WWE. That will be tomorrow. Tomorrow is it's wrestling event, so 9 out of 10, we will be watching it tomorrow. So if you want to watch with me, just let me know. And if you do want to watch with me, you got to be a member of my Discord, so that way I can send you the link for us to watch together. Okay, I'm not seeing anything here. I don't know what's going on with YouTube tonight. I guess it's Saturday, so me. I'm still looking. I would have had all this prepared, but I really didn't come in prepare. I just came in straight to the show. Um, yeah, I don't see. We see. Oh, we can see this. This is crazy. Okay, we'll see something crazy. Um, where was that explosion? Because I saw a video of the explosion. I think it's this one. I just want to show the picture of what it looks like. The after the see if it pauses, if it lets me pause. See if there's a picture. Okay. Remember when the facility looked like a certain way with all the containers? I'm gonna show you now. Let me fix this here. Okay, we're gonna see it right now. Here we go. Remember when the facility looked like this yesterday? And we saw it for a good amount of time? Well, guess what? This is how it looks like the after the explosion and after all the stuff that had burned down. Let me see if I can find it. That was the burning part. Okay, here it is. This is what it looks like after. All gone. Remember those all these containers here and all over here and all over here. All this had chemicals. All this had antifreeze. It had brake fluid. It had transmission fluid. It had all different types of lubricants. Diddy would be so upset because of the lubricants. But this is a disaster for that area, this is actually super big, and I hope it gets more attention than what it is, because this is what it turned out to be after a while, after this burning. It was like this when we first look at all the silos. Look at here, all this here. There's a lot back here. There's a whole bunch over here. Like this is a whole building over here that's back here, and to go from that to this to that, like it's all gone. Even the facility that was here is gone. It's gone. It's burned up. It's this is a big time environmental disaster. But they're downplaying it. They're not bringing it up to like a level of concern. But I tell you right now, a lot of people are going to be sick, and don't be surprised if a lot of people end up getting cancer because they inhaled a lot of these chemicals, especially those that are near this area, like the reporters or the police officers, the fire department. There was a lot of people around this area, and this whole facility just went up to shit, and that's wild. Hey, Chloe, how you doing? So we do got two of Tyson De La Cruz. We do got one from Jason A. Um, let's see here. Um, we got an update on the Florida guy. We got an update on, well, not the Florida guy, the guy who killed three people on the highway, the illegal immigrant. We do have a update on that. Got an update on this is the mayor of Miami speaks out after judge orders alligator Alcatraz to start shutting down, which that's going to be turned around. You know how the Democrats, they're all celebrating and they're like, yes, we won, we won. They're going to shut it down. Guess what? They're not shutting it down. Actually, they're going to actually proceed and proceed even in a bigger way. Like these little judges, they think that they could control the country, like they have some kind of authority, and they're just overstepping their boundaries. And I'm pretty sure the Supreme Court already had mentioned this, and now we're back at it square one again. Like these lower courts needs to get their acts together, especially the lower federal courts. They need to get their shit together because it's just not good. um I also have a video of a train crashing into a pickup truck. That's interesting. You know what? I want to see that. Give me 1 second to set it up, and let me go bring it back to me here, and then give me a second so I can set these videos up.
The latest on alligator.
Okay. I hate when YouTube starts the video right when you open their window. It's just, I always felt like you should be able to hit play before the video starts. And especially when you try to pause it and it doesn't pause, it's just very frustrating. That's why people, they edit their stuff and it looks so like it looks so crispy and so nice, and it's not like time consuming what I'm doing right now, putting this together. Let's see, give me got Tyson also. Oh my God, Tyson did he did a video on my state of Connecticut. That's funny, with the 65 individuals getting arrested actually by ICE. That's going to be very interesting to watch. We're definitely going to watch that. And then we have another one from Tyson De La Cruz about MS-13. And then we got Jason A. So before we watch these, we're going to watch the truck video. Yeah, we're going to go straight to the truck. Because this is an example. don't don't try to go around any of these like crossings when a train is coming. I never go around any of those. First of all, when the train is crossing, it's going to cross no matter what. And if you're in the way, they can't stop. It takes them a while to stop. They think that trains could just stop instantly, and they can't. They just can't. And we're going to see right now together.
Local 10
There you go.
News starts right now.
Right now at 5:30, new video just coming into our Local 10 newsroom of a driver who tried to beat a train.
Watch and listen closely as a driver pulls onto the tracks as that train approaches.
Hell no! Why is he stuck there in the middle? Get the hell out the way! What is this? Oh Lord! Are you kidding me?
Local 10 Samir Nefsi is live near the scene in Fort Lauderdale with this car versus train accident. Samir.
And ladies, quite a chaotic scene early this morning here in Fort Lauderdale. Now, for some context,
I know where this
those
is
vehicles were heading west when that train collided with that Jeep. You can see the driver hitting the steering wheel moments after that train impacting the rear end of that vehicle, creating quite a scene. We had a chance to speak to some witnesses that say they were left in shock.
Obviously, the train's still like slowing down, and we're just all like freaking out, not knowing what to do. And then everyone's like screaming, yelling.
Describes Andreas Chaparro after witnessing the crash.
I don't know how to describe it. When you see it in person, it's a lot different than when you see it like on a video. So we were just shocked. We were panicking. Like, I was in shock.
Plywood marking off a bar front and crime scene tape are what remained following a chaotic early morning multi-vehicle train crash. In this video obtained by Local 10, you can see 3 vehicles left mangled after a train crashed into them.
There was a big commotion.
It says Emily, who did not want to show
I know
her
exactly
face.
where that's at.
Scary. Yeah, it was scary.
That's by,
shocking.
That incident happening at these train tracks in the 200 block of Southwest 2nd Street in Fort Lauderdale around 3:30 Saturday morning.
Downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Crash real quick, so we looked up, and the Jeep was like wedged in between.
It says an employee of a nearby food cart. According to Fort Lauderdale police, 3 vehicles were stopped on the tracks when the train approached them, striking one of the vehicles, with the 2 other vehicles crashing into each other while trying to get off the tracks.
One of the cars ended up getting on the sidewalk and hitting another lady.
In the process, this blue car with damage to the back end smashing into the Den Sports Bar and Lounge, also hitting a woman.
I ain't gonna lie, I was scared because I could have been the one standing on the side of that corner, and I could have been the lady who got hit by the car.
That woman was taken to an area hospital. The other drivers said to have walked away unharmed. For hours, the intersection shut down. People captured climbing through.
A lot of clubs around that area.
Watch how you drive.
All right, so right now
There's
you're taking a
clubs
look
and
at
that's
the
Fort Lauderdale.
outside where that vehicle impacted the Den Bar and Lounge. You can see they have since reopened, just bordering up that front window. We have reached out to Fort Lauderdale police for an update
I know exactly where that's
the
at.
woman that was transported to
I used to
an
be in that
hospital.
area. I used to hang
No
out
word
there
yet
on the
her
weekend.
condition. That's the very latest. We're live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Samir Nefsi, Local 10 News.
All right, Samir, thank you. Keep us posted. And
There's a movie theater there. There's like a area. It's kind of like a outdoor area where they have outdoor music. They have a lot of restaurants. It's by the water too, because there's like a little channel there of water. And the trains, they don't stop. They won't stop. First of all, the one that's wrong is the truck. The truck should not have been in the middle of the tracks. There's no way in hell I would have been stuck in the middle of that damn tracks. I would have just found a way to get the hell out of there. Oh boy, it's just wild. Very, very wild. All right, let's go to, let's see. We saw that. We're gonna leave that for last. Tyson goes last because he's reserved for the last. Let's see what the hell the mayor of Miami-Dade County has to say about the judge ordering Alligator Alcatraz to be pretty much shut down, which I think is just ridiculously, like, this is so stupid.
And now for the latest on Alligator Alcatraz, the migrant detention facility ordered to be non-existent 2 months from now by a federal judge.
The major ruling sparking both support and pushback, with Governor Ron DeSantis
Listen to the reporters.
Local 10's Lenny Supal joins us live from Miami, where that ruling was handed down Thursday. Lenny.
They sound happy.
Good morning. Well, Governor Ron DeSantis not holding back, in his words, saying he will not be deterred by an activist judge. But the decision in this case could shed light on how another federal lawsuit plays out. Environmentalists and the Miccosukee tribe of Indians call it a victory.
We're happy that the tribe's rights were respected.
But Governor Ron DeSantis considers it a catalyst to file a notice to appeal.
This was not something that was unexpected. This is a judge that was not going to give us a fair shake. This was preordained.
A federal judge handing down her decision to wind down the immigration detention center that's been the source of controversy since gates opened last month.
You know, it's worth pointing out that this so-called administration of law and order has been breaking the law every step of the way here.
Environmentalists claim the suit was never about the immigration roundup, but rather the construction and operation impact on the Everglades and sensitive wildlife, claiming the state made the decision to move forward with the detention center without conducting a federally mandated environmental study.
Oh,
From
Lord.
the beginning, this detention center was
study. What a
reckless
waste
and
of time.
dangerous. It threatened our precious Everglades, our clean
If that's the
drinking
case,
water.
then
The
shut
state
down Miami,
ignored
close down Fort
this
Lauderdale,
county's repeated warning.
close down
This
all
new
these
federal
cities
court
in
decision
South Florida.
bars new detainees from being accepted into the facility and sets a 60-day time frame to essentially cease operations. The ruling also forces the removal of fencing, industrial lighting, generators, and fuel after that 2-month window when the last detainee is expected to be gone.
And we intend to hold them accountable to
That's
these
not
environmental
going to
laws.
hold up. Look
There's
at the
a
Supreme Court
separate
on that.
federal lawsuit filed by the ACLU claiming that detainees had their First
ACLU, no
Amendment rights
wonder.
violated with limited access to legal services. Live in
course.
downtown Miami, Lenny Supal, Local 10 News.
Oh, of course, the ACLU. Go figure. This is like playing tennis. It's going to go back and forth, back and forth. The Supreme Court's going to come in and say, shut the fuck up, everybody. All these people got to go. And that's it. That's how it is. But all this is stalling and wasting time and wasting money. A lot of money. And the fact that these judges could just, small federal judges are getting in the way of a bigger issue that we're having throughout our country sets a precedent of stupidity for these judges. And when are these judges, how are these people judges? How is this fair and balanced? How is they going to do an environmental study of the Everglades? If you're going to do that, then you got to, everybody that lives in Hialeah, everybody that lives in Miramar, anyone that lives all around close to the Everglades, they gotta move those people out of there and close it all down, because that impacts the environment too. Then they built Alligator Alley, which is a highway that crosses from east to west. That's a 4-lane highway. How is that not affecting the Everglades? Right? I mean, choose your battles wisely, right? So they want to make a big deal. Oh, the environment. Bitch, you never cared about the environment. The only thing you care about is the money in your pockets. And now you want to scream out, environment, because of the illegals. That's all. That's what it is. They finding ways and loopholes to try to stop the flow of this operation from happening. And I just believe that it's just a stall tactic. And I just feel that this is just going to speed up the process of getting a lot more people deported. They got to leave. They got to go. Sorry. Too bad. So sad. You want me to shed you a tear? I'll shed you a tear like Emmanuel's mom does. Without no tears. How can you cry without tears? It's despicable. It's just ugh. All right, let's go to this story here. We're gonna check up on that trucker.
Also new at 6, the semi-truck driver accused of causing a deadly crash in Florida faced a judge today. Shortly after the wreck, the undocumented driver left to California, but he was recently extradited back here to Florida, where he now faces 3 additional charges. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joining us live from Davie with what happened in court, Yvonne.
No bond for this man who now faces 6 criminal charges. Chelsea, we are at a truck stop in Broward County. Drivers who come here, they have their own opinion about this individual who's now accused of causing a deadly crash.
I'm setting your bond on each charge at no bond.
St. Lucie County Judge Lauren Sweet, appointed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, denied bond to 28-year-old Harjinder Singh. He is the trucker from India accused of making an illegal U-turn in a tractor trailer on the Florida Turnpike on August 12, which official says caused a crash that killed 3 people. Sucks to be him. Sean, who declined to reveal his last name, has been a truck operator for over 5 years. He believes the actions of the other drivers should have been noticed, although Sean does not question Singh's reckless driving.
In the end, it's his fault for making that U-turn. He shouldn't have done the U-turn. At the same time, those people should have hit the brakes. I mean, it's a big old truck in the middle of the street.
The defendant is unauthorized.
I can't even hear him.
Therefore, this court finds you present a substantial flight risk.
Singh, an undocumented immigrant from India, was initially charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide, but during his first appearance at court in Florida, judge ordered 3 additional counts of manslaughter. Investigators say Singh attempted an illegal U-turn, causing his truck to jackknife, blocking the northbound lanes of the Florida Turnpike. A minivan then slammed into the trailer, killing all 3 people inside. Singh was extradited to Florida on Thursday. He was escorted by Florida Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins and other law enforcement agents. After having been booked into jail on Friday, today he found out there is no bond for the charges he faces. So now the circumstances of how Singh obtained a commercial driver's license is under investigation by Washington officials. We are live in Davie. Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Yeah, I think that guy is going to see very serious jail time. I don't see a way of him of getting out of that. That was a very serious accident and very serious mistake. And the fact that he's not emotional about it, has no care, is going to make it worse for him. So we are going to now go over and get some news on, oh goodness, baby Emmanuel Harrow. So let's go ahead and set this up here. So disturbing. Okay, here we go.
A chilling turn tonight in the case of a missing 7-month-old baby in California. The parents of Emmanuel Harrow, who initially claimed he was kidnapped, now under arrest for the infant's murder. Rebecca and Jake Harrow were taken into custody 8 days after telling police that little Emmanuel was snatched from a parking lot. Investigators have now searched the family's home, removing floorboards and seizing phones, all while family members admit that they haven't seen the baby in weeks now. News Nation's Mills Hayes is here tonight with the new details on where the search for the baby stands now. Mills.
Hi, Natasha. The search for Emmanuel Harrow continues. Authorities now believe the 7-month-old baby boy is dead, with his parents behind bars accused of his murder. For over a week, baby Emmanuel Harrow's parents, Rebecca and Jake, pleaded for help from the public.
If you know anything, please come forward.
Whoever took my son, please return him.
Where's the tears?
We just want him back. We won't do anything to you. We just give us our
Listen
son.
to him.
Just keep him safe. Don't hurt him.
But police believe
How
it was
does that
those
sound?
two parents who
That
hurt the
sounds so fake.
7-month-old. After police issued search warrants on their home, car, and electronic devices, Child Protective Services even took custody of their 2-year-old child. The San Bernardino County
Why do
Sheriff's
they have a
Department arresting the pair at
2-year-old
their
in the
house in
house?
Cabazon with armored vehicles ramming down their front gates. Sources tell News Nation blood was found inside the Harrow home, where they found 0 photos of the baby and all of his clothes removed. Emmanuel's mom,
Wow.
Rebecca, first reported him missing August 14th. She told police she pulled over in a retail parking lot to change his diaper when she was attacked, knocked out, and woke up to her baby gone.
I was gonna get the diaper and somebody said hola, and I didn't see nothing since.
Okay, I have to pause this. Oh Lord, you know it's coming right to me. It's coming right to me. Okay, picture the scene. She's there changing the baby. She's on the driver's side. So she opens the door. She gets the baby set up to change him. Someone comes up from behind and says, "Hola," and knock her out. And then she saw all white. And then she wakes up and the baby's gone. How the hell does that happen? Like, hola. This is worse than Amber Heard when the bee stung her. Like, remember that scene of Amber Heard when she was in trial, and the bee that stung, like the dog that stepped on the bee. Remember when my dog stepped on the bee? She did one of those in court. It kind of like gives me reminiscent of hola. I don't know. Let's go back. I mean, this lady has no tears. She has nothing. Like, I would be crying. I would be bawling. I would. You don't know how hysterical I would be. Like, I would be so. Okay, let's just watch this.
I woke up right here on the floor, and I didn't see Emmanuel.
Police noticed inconsistencies in Rebecca's story off the bat, but it was her husband, Jake Harrow's criminal past that raised red flags. Harrow was convicted of child cruelty in 2023 over serious injuries to a 10-week-old baby girl in 2018. Journalist Abby Escobar telling News Nation's Ashley Banfield that little girl, renamed Promise, is 7 years old and can no longer see, walk, or talk.
They practically killed that child, and here they are just living their lives like nothing even happened. How is that fair?
A former Riverside deputy district attorney said Jake Harrow was sent back to Riverside court 5 separate times for probation violations.
He had a 6-year prison stint hanging over his head if he violated probation at all from that 2023 guilty plea of what he had done to his 10-week-old daughter. So the fact that he was out of custody to murder Emmanuel is quite offensive. He should have never been out of custody since 2021.
Nearly 100 people came out for a candlelight vigil for the missing baby boy, telling our News Nation affiliate what happened to Emmanuel is sick, and they hope his mother, Rebecca, will break and come clean about what really happened. Law enforcement experts tell us the strategy here will likely be to get the parents to turn on each other and tell officers what really happened. Natasha.
Such disturbing details. News Nation's Mills Hayes tracking that tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your.
And the fact that I heard news that they moved the father to another prison, another jail, makes it grows like suspicion, right? Like, what truly happened? Did this baby was put in a bag and dumped, and nobody really noticed, and they hauled the trash away? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't put it in their trash bin. They would probably send the body somewhere else. Is this baby ever going to be found? That's the biggest question, because is this baby in a landfill? Or is this baby buried somewhere out there in California? That's sad, man. That's really sad. It makes me sick just even thinking about it. Ugh. All right. Let's check out. I wanted to see this one. Is the Real BP Earthwatch. It's a really good channel. They got new images of Atlas 31, and I want us to watch it together. I haven't seen it. He just uploaded this. So let me set it up for us, and we're going to watch it together.
August the 23rd, 2025. Guys, much cooler today. We were still about 105, I think, heat index, but we've seen the 120s. And this coming week, it's for the southeast. Every day is supposed to just about get cooler, almost a breath of fall coming in, if you would. And it's
Yeah, it's
very
been chilly
welcome
over here.
after the summers we get. Guys, and what you're looking at is one of the latest images from Comet Atlas. Now, there's 2 or 3 Comet Atlases out there, and you can tell this one because it does not have a tail. This is the one they call 3I, and it's the 3rd interstellar object in our recorded history. You know, of course, many would have come by when many of us older people were very young and they would have not been detected at all. So we really don't know how far it goes back, but the 3rd one that's been noticed. And it has been doing some strange things. And I'm going to point out a couple things that are just coming to the forefront, and we're going to take a look at that. Now, this is one of the latest images of Comet Atlas. This is the I3 or 3I, 3rd interstellar object. But we've seen a couple of decent ones. Both were from the big telescopes. But this one, once I ran it through my computer, and I did the same thing with Comet ISON, that's how we knew it was going to do what it did, was the fact that it appears to have no tail. And people will say, well, what about the light out in front of it? Well, if you look at there's 2 more Comet Atlases that are flying around. They get the word Atlas because the Atlas telescope discovered them, and then they have different numbers. And you can, if you look at the comet page or the space weather page, you can see all of the different comets. Again, the other 2s will have tails that normal comets have. And one of the things that Avi Loeb is talking about, he's the astrophysicist, I think, from Stanford, guys. And he's been on he just was on MSNBC or CNBC or one of the other ones. And he's been with Paul Begley, been on a couple of webinars with us. Anyway, his latest information has come out that this thing has a forward emitting light. That's the latest thing as it gets closer that they're talking about. So as we look at this, you see it looks like it would almost have a comet tail out here, right? But that's the front. This is the back. And when I ran this through my computer, this was much darker. Now, this is, again, the back of the comet. The comet is moving up and to the left this way. And that's why Avi Loeb is saying it has a forward emitting light. Not necessarily like a headlight, but it may be part of the drive network. Could be nuclear, according to him. And I guess it would be being nuclear like that, it may be a turbine situation to where there is light in the front. I don't know, but that's what he's talking about. And that's very interesting because of this one and the picture that I did from the Hubble Space Telescope as I ran it through my computer maybe a month or so ago. Anyway, this is not a tail, and it would be much longer and very clear, right? And it's not from the image smearing because they're taking exposures, right? This was taken from a video, a moving video, this particular still shot. So it appears to have a forward emitting light. That would explain this. Why the back, I don't know what that is we're looking at there. Much darker than the rest of the comet. But thinking of it as this is the back and this is the front, and the comet is moving this way, right? That's the direction. I'll show you a couple of other images to point that out. Then what he's saying makes a lot of sense. Let's take a look at a couple of other things. Now, this was the image that I first showed everyone. We did a video about it. It was on space weather. And it makes more sense understanding that the direction it's going in. I said at that time that I thought there was at least 3 objects visible. This is an extreme close-up, run through some filters to just pull out the very minimum of what is in there. And this was just the very center. And I think the rest of the image was maybe part of the emission from the propulsion. But again, this is the rear, and that would be, that could simply be light from the Hubble picking this thing up, because that was a still shot. But see the light emitting out the front?
Wow.
Because this is, everything's moving in this image to the right from the Hubble images, different from that other telescope. So is that the light that Avi Loeb is talking about? And he's continuing to say it looks more and more like some type of alien probe that, and we talked about this.
Oh no, it looks like a foot to me.
Retrograde orbit, to where as it got close to the orbit of Earth, Mars, and Venus, if it wanted to, it could either go into a parking orbit or actually have probes that would be released, that in retrograde, it would be very easy for any of that to go into parking or an orbit on any of these planets. Even if the Earth will be on the other side of the sun, but that if there was an object like that, if there was probes that were put into the inner universe, the inner solar system, excuse me, then that would be the way to do it. And that's what he's talking about. And again, we would be on the other side, but they would put that probe into the Earth's orbit to where they would finally intersect it. That's the way stereo A and B satellites work. They move. Sometimes they're very far and away from Earth. Sometimes they're very close. But with whatever this is, we don't know yet. But it still has not created a tail. Now, another image I want to show you. I'm not going to make it long and drawn out. I just have heard a lot about it lately, and thought maybe we should do an update. Now, back on July 21st, just over a month ago, this was taken by Hubble, 3I Atlas. And it's got some information here, and it appears that it's going in this direction, right? But it's not. It's going in this direction. That's key to what we're looking at. And if you notice right here, it says north, east, and towards the sun. If it was a tail and the sun is in this direction, Avi Loeb's pointing it out, and we've seen it on too many comets. If the sun's here, the tail's going to be blowing out this way, guys. So again, this is a still shot from Hubble, not a moving picture. So it would not have the illusion of light smear because of multiple exposures, right? And it is going in the direction that the light's shining. Never seen it before, don't know what it is, but it is unusual. Now, it has increased in forward speed as far as the information I've gotten. And I don't know if that's gravitational acceleration, because at first they were saying it had a non-gravitational acceleration. It was staying steady as it crossed Jupiter's orbit. And usually when they get closer to the sun or inside the inner solar system, they speed up. Well, it has sped up, but it's not pointing again at the sun. And I don't know if it's a reaction from the sun, but if it's, it's going to be out near the orbit of Mars, coming through there as far as the close approach, and then speed back out of the universe according to the projected path. Then again, it's hard to say what it is, but it appears to not be a comet. To me, it looks like it's three objects. And again, they're not going to have headlights, guys. That would be pretty useless, I think. What are you going to run into if it's that close? A headlight's not going to help you in space, right? Now, again, this came from that blue Hubble image that we had the directions on, the north-south and the direction of the sun that we just looked at. But guys, we don't know what it is yet, but remember, on this image, everything's moving in this direction. That's key. That was a big thing that was talked about. And when we look at all the information, I have to agree 100%. I've always said I don't think it's a comet. I still don't think it is. It would have started spouting a tail. And why, if it's an asteroid like Oumuamua, then why is it glowing like that? asteroids don't do that. They'll have some reflection as they rotate. I've seen them on the space X-rays,
It's very interesting.
radars, and they will, as they rotate, you can see certain shiny areas or edges reflect back into the image.
A lot of energy in that.
But that's not what we're seeing here. So it's not a comet. What is it? That's a big question. Anyway, guys, we're watching it. I keep an eye on it a lot. If there's nothing new to report, I'm not going to stay on it. It's not supposed to affect our planet. And that
I think it's going to interact with the sun, and the sun is going to act up.
But I want to know what it is. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.
That's what I believe. I believe it's something that's going to interact with our sun, and it's going to cause our sun to do some crazy stuff. It's we're living in unprecedented times. Like, things are happening so fast. When is the last time any of us seen anything like this ever? Like, not in my lifetime. But I do have more to watch. I opened up a few more here that I wanted to see. So we're gonna set this up real quick, and we're gonna see what's happening. I see there's a recall on some shrimp, so don't buy shrimp from Walmart. Okay, avoid buying shrimp from Walmart. It's contaminated. It has radiation. I believe it's just. Let's watch.
Frozen shrimp is expanding. We've been telling you about this. According to the FDA, the shrimp manufactured by Southwind Foods is being recalled because of possible radioactive contamination. So far, no illnesses have been reported. The product was sold under several brand names in multiple states, not including Georgia. The warning covers 3 lots of great value raw frozen shrimp, though, that was sold in 13 states, and this does include Georgia. They all have a best buy date of March 15th. 2027. So if you have this seafood, you should throw it out right away. Consumer investigator Liza Lucas has more on this, and she'll have that story on our website as well. Well, this comes just days after Walmart's Great Value brand bagged dozens of shrimp, frozen shrimp, was recalled for the same reason.
The big question, how does radioactive and shrimp end up in the same sentence? For answers, we went to a UGA seafood specialist in Brunswick.
Since I've been in this field of work, I have not seen the term radioactive shrimp in the headlines. So that's new.
While the FDA says no shrimp in the U.S. have tested positive for the radioactive isotope called cesium-137, Customs and Border Protection detected it in shipping containers at 4 ports, including Savannah. The FDA later found it in a sample of breaded shrimp from an Indonesian supplier. Cesium-137 is created in nuclear reactions found in power plants and medical and industrial uses.
There are trace amounts of cesium-137 around the world that can be in our soil, in our water, and in our food. It's just when those levels start getting higher that it gets detected. They're going to be investigating along that supply chain all of the areas where there could have been something that fell through the cracks to create that exposure.
The FDA has now blocked further imports from that company until the source is found.
The importance is that these things do get caught and that the information is provided to the public.
The investigation continues, and while experts say there's no cause for panic, they do hope that this serves as a reminder to consumers to know how to check lot numbers and sign up for those recall alerts. You can find a list of the impacted lot numbers in this case in our story on 11alive.com.
That's wild. That's wild. Shrimp food, don't they inspect these things? Don't they inspect them? They open the package and check them before they put them out to sell to the public. It just baffles me. It does. I'm like, what is going on? Now we're going to have mutant turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they're not going to be turtles. They're going to be humans. And they're going to want brains. They want brains. Going to turn into like the Night of the Living Dead. Okay, let's see this next one here. We're gonna check out. It's a 2 minute long a video of a woman miserably fails a sobriety test after claiming she had only one twisted tea. Okay, twisted tea does not get you loose like a goose. Okay, I'm just saying right now, twisted tea does not get you loose as a goose. It won't do that to you, but it did it to this one, and she failed her sobriety test. So let's check it out together. Give me 1 sec to set it up here. Damn, I just had it. Here it is.
How much would you say you've been drinking tonight?
Drinking tonight? I haven't been. Honestly, I would say I drink a twisted tea, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you like, oh, I've been drinking too much, because I can sit here and drink a whole tequila bottle or something and feel like horrible. But I'm chilling, and at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. What the, like, it's not gonna make sense.
So you were drinking some twisted teas earlier?
Once, yeah, of course.
And the amount you had was one?
And I'm just chilling now. At the end of the day, we're gonna go home and just chill, because what are we gonna do outside when there's nothing here for us? If you know what I mean.
So the next exercise is what's called a one leg stand exercise. What's gonna happen? You're gonna hold your foot about 6 inches from the heel to the ground.
Gotcha.
And you're gonna look down at it. You're gonna count. Okay.
Gotcha.
While you're doing this, your arms are down at your side. Okay.
Of course.
Your foot's about 6 inches from which is about the height of a soda can. Okay.
It's like a kangaroo thing.
Oh no kangaroo here. Okay.
Let me know when.
Go ahead and begin.
Now?
Yep.
Ooh, I can't do that test. I don't have good balance, so I definitely would fail that test. I'm just letting you know, I walk with a cane, so I cannot hold my balance like that. Whoa, what's she doing?
You can stop. You can stop. I don't want you falling over here.
I just want to go home and sleep.
So stand here where you're at. You do this, bring your arms down here. Bring them here behind you. I want you to stand here just like this and don't move. You're under arrest for you had way too much to drink. Should be driving a car.
Yo, that cop's a trip. He's like, you've been drinking way too much to be driving a car. Ain't that the damn truth? She's one twisted tea gets you like that. I wonder what was in that twisted tea, because that twisted tea must be spiked. Like, it has to be spiked if she's acting like that. That's just really not good. Well, she's gonna be having to pay an attorney, and if it's DUI, that's gonna be pretty expensive for her. What a way to mess up your life, you know? That sucks. That really sucks. Okay, so I got some here opened up. So we're gonna check out this next story. Not Melody. We'll go at her next. Actually, we're gonna go to this one.
Pinellas County woman. Let's start with her. Arrested after police say she was performing unlicensed dentistry work on clients in 2 counties, causing infections and damaging their teeth. Fox 13's
Oh my God.
Pinellas Park after speaking with investigators and learning about the concerning trend on social media.
Well, customers came here to Tap In Beauty Bar to get a smile makeover, but they left with pain and injuries. Police say that Emily Martinez used crazy glue to put veneers on her victim's teeth.
What?
She's not smiling in her mugshot, but giving clients a bright white smile with veneers is what Emily Martinez advertised on social media. Video after video shows her claiming to transform teeth from drab to fab, except
she is not licensed to put in veneers. She has no schooling to do veneers.
Oh my God.
And in the state of Florida, obviously, you have to be licensed to do any kind of work like that.
something her victims didn't know. 2 separate customers reported Martinez to Pinellas Park Police this summer after they had complications, and Martinez refused to fix the work or refund them.
They were told by an actual dentist that the veneers that were placed in the victim's mouth appear to have done with crazy glue.
On average, a single veneer at a dentist office can cost between $900 to $1,500 per tooth. One victim paid Martinez $2,500 for the entire mouth.
Oh
It's
my
not the first
God.
time she's been accused of this crime. We learned in March Martinez was arrested on charges of unlicensed dentist work in Hillsborough County. She was released and performed the work on Pinellas victims in June and July. And it may have been more than veneers.
We also got information that possibly pulling of teeth. We did also get information that maybe even like children's veneers. So this is still an active investigation.
The American Dental Association issued a warning last year about unlicensed people claiming to be so-called veneer techs on social media. The ADA says any dental procedure that may alter the physical structure of an individual's teeth, gums, or jaws without the supervision of a dentist has the potential to cause irreversible harm. Police say Martinez's victims needed emergency dental care after what she did to their teeth.
They actually have had to pay thousands of dollars to get their teeth fixed. And some of them had to wait for the infection to clear and go get their teeth fixed.
And police say that Martinez was operating here since at least January, but she has used multiple different names for herself and her business. They encourage anyone who may have used her services to reach out to police. It's also super easy to check to see if a person that you're going to get services from has a dental license. You can just go on to the health department's website. Reporting in Pinellas Park, Genevieve Curtis, Fox 13 News.
Wow. That's wild. That's wild. Fucking crazy glue. I have crazy glue in the other room. So I'm just thinking, like, she applied that toxic in their mouths and it destroyed their teeth. Oh my goodness gracious. That's disturbing. Very, very, very disturbing. I want to check this out because a friend of the show sent us a link. You can hear the bombs popping. They're shooting fireworks because there was like some kind of event and they're shooting fireworks. Give me 1 sec so I can get this video set up. And it's about that object too. Okay, we're gonna check it out because I am fascinated with space, and space is very interesting. So give me 1 second because I put that on pause and it played by itself. I'm telling you. YouTube. Okay, here we go. We're going to check this out because a friend of the show sent us this and we should watch it.
A mysterious space object is hurtling towards Earth, and while it could just be a comet, a renowned theoretical physicist is pushing the possibility that it could be a nuclear-powered spacecraft. This is the image of the so-called 3-Eye Atlas, raising new questions, with Harvard professor Avi Loeb theorizing this Manhattan-sized space object could be emitting its own light. And if that's the case, it could indeed be alien technology. Adding to the mystery, 3-Eye Atlas also appearing to lack something all comets have in common, a tail. So what exactly could this be, and are we ready for it? Professor Avi Loeb is joining us live, head of the Galileo Project, best-selling author. Professor, always good to see you. Thanks for making the time tonight.
Thanks for having me, Natasha.
So Professor Loeb, talk to me about this best photo we have of this object and the glow of light you describe. What makes you think that this could be nuclear powered?
Well, we don't have evidence for nuclear power, but we have evidence that there is no tail behind the object. So we see the object as red, and there was a suggestion maybe dust in front of it is making it red, but in fact, there is not enough dust. There is very little dust in front of it based on the image. In fact, you can get all of this dust over a period of 6 months from a layer that is just 1 millimeter thick, and it could be just dirt evaporated from the surface. The one thing that was reported just a few days ago is from another observatory, Sphere X, that claims to have detected carbon dioxide, CO2, in a large region around this object. We don't know why that the same instrument didn't detect any water. Often, in the case of comets, you see water molecules, and that was not detected. So the mystery remains. Why don't we see a cometary tail? Why do we see glow ahead of the object, not behind it? If the object happens to be 20 kilometers in diameter, as is the case, if the reddening is just the surface of the object, from its brightness, we infer that it must be of order 20 kilometers, then it's very difficult to get such a giant rock out of the rocky material in interstellar space. We expect such a giant rock to be delivered once per 10,000 years or longer. There is not enough rocky material to deliver it within the past decade. So the question remains, what is this object? Is it a very rare rock that is not really a typical comet that we're used to? Or maybe it was targeting the inner solar system because of some technological design. And the trajectory of this object is aligned with
It's very interesting, by the way,
sun, and
Stephanie.
that leads me to
That's
suggest
what I
that we
think.
must monitor it.
There are a lot more coming this way. People
Between
just
0
getting
for a natural object
hyped
and a
about
10
this
for
one. There's more coming.
definitely technological object. And I hope that the data from the Webb telescope that should have been collected already but not publicized will tell us more about it.
This is fascinating. At this point, do you believe that the space object could pose a danger to Earth? You said that the object
Yeah,
could be
we
sent by
just saw a
extraterrestrials
video
to test our response.
with BP
I mean, if
Earthwatch.
this were a danger, do we have the technology to deal with it when it comes nearby in October?
Well, we don't know what technology it represents, if it is technological, and it's a blind date of interstellar proportions. And my point is, even if it's a rock, we better get as much information as possible. There is a camera of 0.5 meter in diameter next to the Mars right now. It's called the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and the camera is called the HiRISE. And I contacted the people who operate this camera, and they will look at the 3i Atlas with a pixel resolution of about 30 kilometers when 3i Atlas will pass close to Mars on October 3rd. And then it will go behind the sun. We won't be able to observe it. But my hope is that when it gets close, for example, to Jupiter, that the Juno mission near Jupiter will observe it. And so we need to use all space assets to learn more about it. If it happens not to be a comet, we need this will be a wake-up call. We need to establish some organization that will, in the future, interpret interstellar object and tell us about the risk. And we might want to deploy spacecraft in orbit around the sun that will serve as an alert system or an interceptor system that will defend our planet.
Wow, so much to think about as always. Professor Avi Loeb, really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our
right?
News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will.
They do have some satellites out there by Jupiter. And from what I heard, they were gonna because they were gonna like enter them into the planet and just have them destroy. But I think they're sending a mission to them and redirecting them to try to intercept this, whatever this is coming our way. Like they said, it was like the third body object that has came our way from out of deep space. I just believe there's a lot more coming our way, and this is just the beginning of what's coming. And like I said, I'm waiting for the asteroid to come because they're coming, and it's a lot of them. And will we be able to survive? Are the elite the ones they know and they're prepping their bunkers? I mean, Zuckerberg has his bunker over in Hawaii, and I'm sure a lot of the really rich billionaires have their bunkers. They have missile silos that they converted into like mansions underground, like underground mansions. They have like swimming pools. They have like gym, basketball court. like tennis court. They have all types of shit, all in different levels, and like state of the art shit, like very expensive. I saw a couple of videos of that on YouTube. You should check it out. Um, it's listen. I am anticipating something coming our way, something that has a lot of intelligence. I just believe the ones that dropped us off here, they're coming back, and they're gonna check to see what's the progress and what's going on here. I mean, that could happen. That's just. I just feel that that's just how humanity got here. We didn't just grow from the ground and just came up like a flower, and here we are. It just doesn't happen that way. Like, I believe we were placed here, and not only us, but everyone from around the world, from different countries, because like you see how we all like don't speak the same language. There's like hundreds and hundreds of different languages all around the world. And how come we just don't have one true universal language? They're trying to make the universal language English, but it's English is not something that's practiced worldwide. So I say, like, we're dropped off here. We were all dropped off here, and some, you know, landed on islands, and they survive, on the island. What was that one island that's the one that's in the Indian Ocean? Up, it's like not too far from India and not too far from Indonesia. There's like an island that it's like they want nobody there or disturbing that area or nothing. And many people have traveled to that island, and some, like a lot of them, did not come back alive. They ended up killing them and eating them. And they have their little their sticks and stones, and they will stick and stone you and harpoon you, like, with their sticks. It's just, how did that society get the way they did? They never had television, they don't have radios, they don't have electricity. They're kind of like their own little experiment, like Stone Age, like experiment with these beings. They're beings. They look human, but they don't follow society. They're not part of society. I remember there was a story where some of the people from that island had to come to the mainland for some medical issues, and when they got back, they ended up getting really sick because of the humans, in the inland. They have a lot of diseases, and it's diseases that we don't see because it's everywhere. Everything we touch, everything has germs. So these individuals touch something, and then they touch their mouths or rub their eyes, and they got sick, and they all got sick. All right, hold on. Oh shit! I gotta catch up with the text. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I start getting on a rant, and then I'm like, uh, I thought so as well, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, okay, I believe the story of the Jesus and all that stuff. Yeah, I think the world needs that to be put in some kind of tranquility. But in reality, I believe that there was a mass exodus from a solar system, and they discovered Earth, and they just like Spaceballs this shit. They came with their ship and Spaceballs. Remember Spaceballs? Such a good movie. There's gonna be a part 2 in a few years. I'm going to see it. If I'm still alive, I'm going to see it. Spaceballs 2. But they send all these animals and all this stuff from the ship, and they send it to the planet. And yeah, and I like the end of that movie where they landed and it's like the Planet of the Apes, and they knew about the Spaceballs. That was funny. That was a great ending to that movie. You know what? Let me use my phone because I'm straining myself looking, and I need to put eye drops. That's the thing. Give me a second to put my eye drops because it's hard for me to see. I'm squinting. I'm actually getting a new pair of glasses. I believe I get it on Monday or Tuesday. I'm hoping Monday. But I have to put these drops on religiously. One of the drops I gotta put 2, and the other one I have to put 4 times a day. So I definitely gotta put one more in an hour. I gotta put that one on. All right, let's see if I can see. No, I can't see. This one messes with my vision, so I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Have you seen the 6th part of the guy who had a conversation with AI admitting about its intent? That is wild. Yeah, AI is just very alien. The thing is, they try to get rid of that technology, and somehow that technology was brought back. And I believe when they discovered the that compute like the first computer, where did they find that one out? They found that in, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was in the Mediterranean Sea, where they found the first ever like computer like type device. And I think that was like it helped more with where we at today as far as like technology and how fast. And I believe this is all alien. That's why you see the numbers back here and all the it's funny that we're talking about alien stuff, and I got all these weird letters and numbers, and it looks like the Matrix. All right, let me go back to the chat. Sorry. Okay, let's see here. Damn, my eyes are really bad. I am so sorry. I meant to send you the 6 parts. I sent a letter. But yeah, send it to me. Send it to me. I love history. Listen, I love anything that has to do with space, with the universe, and history of the universe. Like all that stuff. I watch at night when I'm sleeping. I put it on. I have it on my list of my playlist on YouTube, and I have it on a speaker, and I play it at night next to me. So when I sleep, I'm listening to like educational programming. That's the only way I'm able to sleep, and especially if it's about space. Oh my goodness, I love space. I love like the unknown. You know, they're so worried about here, and in reality, to the universe, we're not even a little like sand. You know, the sand from the beach. We're not even like compared to the universe. We're not even a speck.
and yet we think we're so big and we're so strong and we have all this authority. I mean, you're not even a little piece of sand compared to the universe. That's just wild. Yeah, you're overdue for glasses. Yeah, I did my test and everything, and I should be getting my glasses this week for sure. Yeah, definitely. It's on Discord. This was a conversation with ChatGPT. All right, we send it to the Discord. Let me see. I don't have the Discord open on the computer, but let me open it. Man, my eyes are. They have me wearing these eye drops, and these eye drops, they're supposed to help, and they're not really helpful. Well, they're somewhat helpful, but it's having to put drops in your eyes a total of 6 times a day is a little excessive. Okay. Oh, but it's Facebook. I don't use Facebook. Oh no. Yeah, I don't go into Facebook because I don't support Zuckerberg at all, and I don't even have X. I don't have Twitter either because I don't something about Elon. I always had red flags about him. It's just something about him. He's very alien to me, and I don't know. All right, let's check. Let's go back to this fire thing. I want to see this story again. Um, this is a new one, but it's about the fires and the environmental impact this is going to have.
Next tonight, a community under evacuation orders after an explosion at a plant in Louisiana. Drone video capturing the aftermath as the fire still burns, pumping plumes of smoke and black soot into the air. Tonight, the warning to residents. Here's ABC's Olivia Rubin with the new details coming in.
Tonight, more than 24 hours after a massive explosion and fire at a Louisiana factory, officials are warning residents to stay indoors. Officials say a series of explosions.
Yeah, check to see if you can find it on YouTube.
Shop in Rosalind on Friday afternoon. Residents concerned.
People walking out, leaving medications, clothes, personal items.
Everyone within a mile radius ordered to leave, including an elementary school.
This order is based primarily on the risk of falling debris, as well as a precautionary measure due to the ongoing and active nature of the scene.
Critically, officials also urging residents to wash their hands and faces after exposure to the black soot now filling the air.
The soot generated by the fire is associated with combustibles.
Oh, Lord.
Plastic,
a lot of people are going to get sick.
As well as some hydrocarbon chemicals.
Officials say the EPA has now sent out special aircraft to conduct additional testing on that black soot. That data under review tonight as investigators continue to search for the cause. Mary.
Wow.
Olivia, thank you.
Wow, that is going to be bigger than that train accident that happened in Ohio. It's going to be bigger than that train accident that happened in Ohio. And the reason this thing supposedly exploded was due to a lightning strike. That's what they're claiming. A lightning strike hit the facility and blew up the facility. Mother Nature, that's a sign. She ain't fucking happy and she ain't putting up with any of our shit. All right, I think we're gonna let's go here. Let's check out this zombie deer. I knew about zombie deer for a good long period of time, but Jason A did a video on it, so I want to check it out.
You may have seen
Photo spreading on social media of rabbits with strange growths on their heads.
Yeah, the warts almost look like horns, but Colorado Parks and Wildlife wants people to know that it's not a problem. Now, CPW has noticed this in rabbits north of Fort Collins this summer, and they say what you see here on this rabbit is actually not rare. The growth of warts comes from the papillomavirus and is spread by biting insects that are usually more active in the summer. CPW says that there is no threat of transmission to your pets, but say that you should still be careful.
There's no over concern needed for pet owners. We would just say keep those wildlife principles in mind when you do have your pets out. Keep them on leash, keep them away from wild animals just in case, but it's not necessarily something we see transmitted from rabbits to dogs.
Susan Mansfield said she saw a different bunny with tentacles in her yard in recent years.
He had this same black stuff on him, and I thought he would die off during the winter, but he didn't. He came back a second year, and it grew.
A group of rabbits in northern Colorado are sprouting growths, and it looks like something out of a horror film.
Yeah, scientists say what's happening is actually pretty common. Errol Barnett explains.
Rabbits in Colorado have been infected with a virus that's causing them to sprout what look like tentacles, which causes these wart-like growths to protrude from bunny faces like metastasizing horns. And rabbits with these tendril-like growths have been spotted all around Fort Collins over the past week. And people are calling these poor infected critters Frankenstein bunnies, demon rabbits, and zombie rabbits too. Now, what's interesting is historically, this type of deformation may have contributed to the centuries-old myth of jackalopes, which told of a mysterious rabbit with antlers or horns or other variations. Now, the Shoat papillomavirus is mostly harmless. It's common during summer months when fleas and ticks are more active and spread the virus. And get this, the discovery of this disease was actually an important one for science because it led researchers to make the connection that human papillomavirus can cause cancer.
Strange tentacle-like growths on their faces. ABC 10 contributor Amanda Gilbert spotted some in her neighborhood and asked wildlife experts to weigh in.
Yeah, I've noticed these rabbits more than once while walking my dog, and it turns out I'm not alone. So I reached out to Colorado Parks and Wildlife. It seems rabbits enjoy living in Fort Collins just as much as people. They're often spotted hopping through neighborhoods looking for grub. But some southeast Fort Collins neighbors noticed bunnies where cute wasn't exactly the word that came to mind. I snapped this photo of one of the rabbits I've seen with the growth. I also saw this photo posted on Reddit, also spotted in Fort Collins.
Like a scabbyish looking kind of growth over her face. Looks like it was black quills or black toothpicks sticking out all around his mouth. They have, something that, we can help them with.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife confirms this is a virus that's not contagious to other animals like people's dogs, but they say leave this wildlife alone like you would with any of the neighborhood bunnies.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife says the growths are similar to benign tumors or warts that can just keep growing. They don't harm the rabbits unless they grow around sensitive areas like the eyes or mouth.
You may have seen disturbing viral images of rabbits with black tentacles growing out of their heads. The strange side of the internet
that looks so
uses
crazy.
scratching their noggins. It's even stoked fears that the growths are a sign of the end of the world, not unlike the spores seen in HBO's hit show The Last of Us. Earlier this year, one of the Franken bunnies was spotted in snowy Nebraska. Then, just a few days ago, Denver's 9 News reported a slew of them in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Like a scabbyish looking kind of growth over her face. Looks like it was black quills or black toothpicks sticking out all around his mouth.
As the story spread, one Redditor reported the phenomenon for the last few years in Minnesota. Another chimed in, "They're all over here in St. Paul." So, is the Midwest under attack?
The zombie deer disease has returned, and experts say it's spreading. While it sounds like something out of The Walking Dead, chronic wasting disease is actually very real.
And as Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini shows us, there's concern it could jump to humans.
Wildlife officials are close to making a final decision on rules for limiting the spread of chronic wasting disease, or zombie deer disease, in Washington, including a possible statewide ban on feeding wildlife and using bait to hunt deer, elk, and moose. Opponents of that idea claim banning bait is an attack on hunters, but supporters argue banning the practice is long overdue, saying that bait stations and backyard feeding create areas for wildlife to gather and increase the spread of the disease. Public comment for the new rules ends Friday, with a final decision expected later this month.
Kentucky officials are alerting residents after detecting a second case of chronic wasting disease in deer. The Kentucky Department of Agriculture says a dead deer tested positive on October 11th at a deer farm in Breckinridge County. The disease is sometimes called the zombie deer disease and is usually fatal to infected animals. Officials say there is no vaccine or treatment. Scientists think it spreads between animals through contact with fluids of an infected animal. State agriculture officials are monitoring the illness. The Center for Disease Control says there is no strong evidence indicating the illness can infect people.
Chronic wasting disease, or CWD, dubbed zombie disease in deer, is spreading according to experts.
It has been spreading, and it's now found in most states.
Begging the question, are humans at risk?
I think that until we see very clear evidence of transmission from animal to a human, we have to state that there does not appear to be a risk, but that can change.
Yellowstone National Park recently confirmed a case of CWD after a deer carcass tested positive for the highly contagious and fatal brain disease.
It's a disease that's seen in the deer family. They get this abnormal protein. It causes them to, over time, over a year or two, develop these holes in their brain so they can't feed themselves, and eventually they'll die.
Although there are no confirmed cases in New York State, the Department of Environmental Conservation is alerting people, including asking everyone, not to feed wild deer or moose, warning feeding artificially concentrates animals in one location for extended periods of time, increasing the likelihood of diseases to spread.
We're concerned about it transmitting to humans is because it's in the same class of diseases as mad cow.
A human version of mad cow disease is believed to be caused by eating contaminated beef products. Therefore, experts say venison could put humans at risk for chronic wasting disease.
It would likely be transmitted through consumption.
Oh. Zombie squirrel, no way. What? What that says? Damn, I can't see it. I could go back and pause it and watch. Everyone could pause and watch, and you can read what it says there. I can't see it. Poor squirrel. Not the zombie squirrels, Jason A. Oh, thank you for an awesome video. Holy smokes. Zombie deer, zombie rabbits, and now fucking zombie squirrels. Like, this is, it's you know, it's very foreign. And I feel like this is a sabotage that's happening. I feel like there's people that are here in this country that are doing like very devious things and sabotaging us. I mean, the border was open for 4 years. What do you expect? You know, I expect everything, and I don't underestimate anything. Like, they're here, and they're causing things, and they're causing problems, and who knows what diseases and what, like, germs they brought through the border. Like, they came in freely without being vetted. So we don't know what ticks, what bugs, what anything germs wise. I know right now there's a herpes outbreak in Alabama, I believe, or was it Mississippi? I think it was Mississippi. Around that area, they're having sexual transmitted diseases, and herpes is on fire down there. And I believe it came through the border because um, a lot of diseases that are coming through is coming through the border. There's another one. Was it malaria? Malaria? What was? I think it was the one. Which is the one? The measles. Remember, the measles was eradicated. We didn't have no measles, and all of a sudden, that border was wide open. And guess what? There's a measles outbreak in the United States. Go figure. Makes you wonder. We were sabotaged. In those 4 years of Biden, we were sabotaged. And the amount of diseases that has came through that border, it's far by like it's so much. So much. Oh, it's like my psychic mind just goes because I'm an energy reader, right? So I'm very good psychic, and then I start seeing things, and I started seeing a lot of things, and I'm like, man, there's so much here, so many bad things are here, and bad people, a lot of bad people are here. That's why they're fortifying Washington D.C. It's not only because the crime of Washington D.C. No, they got reports of something big supposed to come through, and they want to keep a good barrier in Washington D.C. so they could like deter anyone to try to do something in Washington. There's more to meet the eye. Remember G.I. Joe? There's more that meets the eye. It's like, and that's actually, I think that's like Transformers too. Transformers is more than meets the eye. Transformers back in the 80s. There's oh man, my head is gonna explode. But I'm gonna be wrapping up the show soon because I'm getting tired. I did do a 3-hour show earlier today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a back to back on Tyson De La Cruz, and if his video uploads by the time I'm done with these two, then we may have a third one. If not, we're gonna save the third one for tomorrow morning. I think that'd be a good thing. So we're gonna go ahead and watch our good friend, a friend of the show. He will be back on the show. I spoke with him today. Very cool people. Very cool people. It's good to have good friends and good and have good like positive conversations. It's very helpful. So with that said, let's go ahead and go to Tyson De La Cruz.
What brings us to this area is we had violence here that occurred in this parking lot 2 nights ago. We had attempted murder, stabbing occur, and several people assaulted in this area here.
America, 5 MS-13 gang members just got federally indicted.
Yeah, how's
for
Rob
a separate
doing?
machete attack that left 8
Is there
people
something
injured,
going on with Rob?
including a barbaric assault at Kennedy Memorial Park in broad daylight. We're talking about gang members using machetes and knives to attack people ranging from the age of 20 to 51, then following up with pipes and machetes at a laundromat in December. But here's what's really sick. This is the same Nassau County that just arrested 42 gang members in 4 days, proving MS-13 reign of terror is escalating despite ongoing law enforcement efforts. Because these aren't random crimes, this is organized terrorism by foreign gang
Tyson's
members.
doing good.
who
He was
think
on the
that they
show
can
here.
turn American neighborhoods into killing fields with medieval weapons.
Okay, before we start Tyson. Yeah, Tyson came on the show here. He was here on what day are we? We're Saturday. He was here on Thursday, I think. Let me check. Give me 1 second. When was Tyson here? Tyson was here a day ago, uh, the 21st. So yeah, he was here on Thursday, and it was pretty good. He wants to come back again. I'm having him come back again, and we're gonna showcase Tyson. Um, let me see what he's. Let me shoot him a message. Let me see what he's up to. It's like I have it like that. So it's when you good communications with good people. Like Stephanie, I communicate with you. Um, it's having good, friendly conversations. Positive. You got to keep it positive. I'm a mess with him. Give me one sec. I'm just sending him a message. I don't like the typing on this board. It's just too little. My hands are too big and the keys are too little. Okay, I'm sorry I stay quiet, but when I'm typing, I like to stay quiet. I shoot him a message, so he tends to respond pretty quick. Uh, but we're gonna start his show, so let's go ahead and watch Tyson de la Cruz. Let me set it up again. Okay, let me go back to YouTube on my phone because I can't see. I can't see the. I'm gonna get a bigger screen. I'm gonna get it on Black Friday, and I'm gonna put it on the wall. And I want it to be at least like 80 to 100 inches. It's like, damn, Rick, you're going like super big. Yes, I am. I need. I'm gonna put it on the wall so that way I'm able to see up, and then I could see everything, and then I could like do. Like where it's at right now, the camera's kind of blocking it too, so I can't really see. I have to move this way just to see, and then I want it on the wall. I don't want it on a TV stand because I have a pretty big TV stand, very heavy too. Um, but I want to put it on the wall, and I want to have it professionally installed. So, yeah. I used to have a projector, but I don't like it. Projectors are good for like camping. I have one, but it's nothing like. I want to get a nice big screen, like big television on the wall, and I'm able to pull it out and tilt it and move it around. That's what I want. So that way I could stick it out and then tilt it. So the future, if I have to be bedridden for a while, the show will go on even from my bed. Yes, I would. I would do that. I would continue the show from the bed. All right, let me go ahead and play Tyson. Let's get this set up here. All right, Tyson, take it away, buddy.
In the arrest of 42 violent gang members, Of the 42, 28 were transferred over to ICE.
They were members of the notorious MS-13.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Finally, we're seeing federal prosecutors treat MS-13 gang violence as the organized terrorism it actually is. This story shows how these foreign gang members are systematically terrorizing Long Island communities with barbaric weapons. Let me break down these federal indictments that just expose the level of barbaric violence MS-13 is bringing to American neighborhoods.
5 people, including these 3 men, have now been indicted in connection with 2 attacks, one at a Hempstead park. Prosecutors say all of the men are members of the MS-13 Hempstead Locos Salvatruchas gang.
5 MS-13 gang members have been federally indicted for 2 separate attacks. These aren't isolated incidences. This is a coordinated campaign of terror by an organized criminal enterprise.
The Nassau County District Attorney says what happened here last October was a violent attack in the middle of the day.
There was one machete, there were knives.
6 people were injured in the attack, ranging in ages from 20 to 51 years old.
First attack happened in broad daylight at Kennedy Memorial Park last October. 1 machete, multiple knives, 6 people injured. This shows that MS-13 doesn't just target rival gang members. It attacks anyone in their path. The second attack happened on December 18th outside a laundromat in Uniondale. 2 people attacked with pipes and a machete while they were just parked outside doing laundry. This is terrorism designed to make residents feel afraid to go about their daily lives. Now let's talk about how this fits into the broader pattern of escalating MS-13 violence that's terrorizing Long Island communities.
Nassau County DA Ann Donnelly says they are seeing an increase in MS-13 violence.
We're not giving up. We are not going to let MS-13 take back any of the area in Nassau County that they had years ago.
This admission proves that MS-13 is trying to reclaim territory that they previously controlled. 3 of the 5 indicted gang members entered the United States, you guessed it, illegally. These are foreign criminals who came to America and decided to bring their barbaric violence to Long Island neighborhoods. All 5 are being held without bail.
A spike in crime and an attack on a young boy mistaken as a gang member that triggered the operation that resulted in the arrest of 42 violent gang members.
The pattern is clear. MS-13 gang violence is escalating across Long Island. Now let's take a look at the weapons that MS-13 gang members are using to terrorize American communities, because it reveals the medieval level of barbarism that they're bringing to these neighborhoods.
Nassau County Police made a series of arrests during a 4-day sweep of the county. On a table was displayed some tools of their violent trade, including machetes, guns, knives, masks.
The same weapons used in these indicted attacks. MS-13's preferred method is machetes and knives because they want to terrorize the victims close up with personal violence. Surrounded by machetes, hatchets, box cutters, and other tools of brutality. This is what MS-13 gang members carry on Long Island streets. These aren't self-defense weapons. And of course, police found drugs, weapons, machetes, hatchets, firearms. The violent gang members do have weapons, and they're not here on the streets without weapons. This shows that MS-13 operates like a paramilitary organization. Now let's talk about these attacks that are affecting Long Island residents who can't feel safe in their own neighborhoods.
I'm not a fan of gangs, so I don't think it has any place in the community. You don't want that type of activity around the parks, especially with kids here and babies and just families all together.
Many in the area today too concerned to speak about the attacks on camera.
This shows that MS-13's terrorism is working. People are afraid to even talk about what's happening in their own neighborhoods. The recent arrests are triggered by an attack on an innocent kid with cognitive issues who was mistaken as a rival gang member. MS-13 is targeting the most vulnerable people in our society: disabled individuals, families at parks, and people doing laundry. To understand how serious this current situation is, we need to take a look at MS-13's history of violence on Long Island and why these indictments matter.
I'm going to take you back to 2017 when MS-13 was killing gang members, other gang members, or those who refused to join the gang. And you remember we covered about 9 bodies buried throughout Nassau County.
In 2017, MS-13 was killing gang members and people who refused to join. With 9 bodies buried throughout Nassau County, all have been hacked up, decapitated, and buried in shallow graves. Just recently, an MS-13 leader was sentenced to 68 years in prison for ordering 8 murders on Long Island, including the machete killing of 2 high school girls. This shows that MS-13's leadership structure remains active and is dangerous.
We promised in the beginning that we were going to go after the worst of the worst. You're looking at it on the screen. That is the worst of the worst, and we're not done yet.
Nassau County officials are making it clear this crackdown will continue. America, these federal indictments expose a level of barbaric terrorism that MS-13 is bringing to American neighborhoods with medieval weapons and organized violence. 5 gang members indicted for 2 separate machete attacks that injured 8 people, including a broad daylight assault at a public park and an attack on people doing laundry outside a laundromat. This isn't random crime. This is systematic terrorism designed to control territories through fear. The weapons involved: machetes, knives, and pipes that show MS-13 prefers up-close personal violence to maximize terror. They want entire communities to be afraid, not just rival gang members. 3 of the 5 indicted gang members are here illegally, proving once again that foreign criminals are bringing their violence to American soil. These aren't immigrants seeking a better life. These are terrorists who came here to continue their criminal enterprise. The fact that residents are too afraid to speak on camera about attacks in their own neighborhood shows how effective MS-13's terrorism's campaigns have been. When American citizens can't feel safe at parks or laundromats, the gang has achieved its goal of community control. These indictments come after Nassau County arrested 42 gang members in just 4 days, showing that MS-13's presence in Long Island is extensive and ongoing. The recent sentence of an MS-13 leader to 68 years for 8 murders proves violence has been building for years. This is exactly why Americans support Trump's immigration crackdown and gang enforcement. We want foreign gang members arrested, prosecuted, and deported before they turn our neighborhoods into killing fields with machetes and medieval weapons. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Cruz. Awesome. I know he was busy when I spoke to him. He had some stuff he had to do with his family, so I don't expect him here today. I don't, but I am having him on the show again. We're trying to get a day. He wants to do like, I think like 2 days he wants to do to come on here and have discussions with me. I think that is pretty cool. That would be very helpful for me. Especially that he has 102,000 subscribers. I'm just saying, I only have like 513. I'm ready for that rocket ship. Just shoot me off. And I like attention. I like attention, but I like quietness too. So let's enjoy this peacefulness before it gets crazy. I know Stephanie's gonna be like, "Damn, right? All the chat is gonna get crazy and shit," and like, just we'll get them under control. But I like to have the attention, and at least I'm relaying messages and try to help as much as possible. But we're definitely probably gonna get the second Tyson show, because it usually comes up at 10:15. That's how good I have the timing down on his uploads. So it should come up. I could double check to see if it uploaded one. Give me 1 sec, and I'll go searching for it. Because sometimes it uploads early, sometimes it uploads a little later. Let me see. I got a lot of like messages. I gotta check out. No, I don't think he put up yet. He don't has it. It's gonna be coming up soon, because I know it's scheduled. So it'll be live shortly. But until then, we're gonna watch another Tyson de la Cruz.
So let me set this up. Oh, and this is of my state of where I'm living at. This is in Connecticut. So we're gonna watch this report, and this is gonna be fun because this is my state. So interesting. Okay, let's go to Tyson.
After a 4-day operation, ICE agents arrested 65 people they say are here in our state illegally.
America, ICE just conducted one of the biggest immigration sweeps in Connecticut history. Arrested 65 people in 4 days, including convicted rapists, child sex predators, and gang members. The operation was called Broken Trust, a direct shot at Connecticut's sanctuary policies that protect criminals from deportation.
I
Here's what's
reported on
absolutely
this.
wild. The Democrat state representative posted ICE locations on social media to help criminals avoid arrest. And when conservatives called him out, he started getting death threats. Because this story has everything: sanctuary cities protecting violent criminals, politicians helping lawbreakers escape justice, and the media spinning law enforcement operations as terror campaigns. This is peak liberal insanity.
That's wow. It's crazy here.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement's Boston office says they led a large-scale enforcement called Operation Broken Trust.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story perfectly shows the battle between federal law enforcement trying to protect communities and Democratic politicians who care more about protecting criminals than protecting citizens. Let me break down this incredible 4-day operation to just remove some of the most dangerous criminals from Connecticut communities.
Immigration officials say they arrested 65 people in a 4-day sweep. Nearly 30 reportedly have serious criminal records, we're told.
From August 12th through the 15th, ICE agents worked together with the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, and U.S. Marshals, and they arrested 65 people throughout Connecticut. Nearly 30 of them, almost half, had serious criminal records, including convictions of violent crimes.
I knew they
Their
did.
operation was targeting immigrants here
They need to go to
illegally
Hartford
with ties to
and New
organized
Haven.
crime and other offenses. These are some of the pictures provided by ICE of their operation. Of the 65 arrests, ICE says 29 people had been convicted or charged with a crime in the U.S. ICE also sent out mugshots for 13 people they deemed the worst of the worst. Some of the crimes ICE says they've committed include kidnapping, assault, sex crimes, and drug offenses.
The operation was specifically called Broken Trust. This was a direct reference to Connecticut's Trust Act, which limits cooperation between local law enforcement and ICE. This was federal agents sending a clear message about sanctuary policies that protect criminals.
But this release put out by ICE did have some political overtones.
Government can choose to do what they want to do, but me and mine, we will be standing for the people of Connecticut, regardless of their immigration status, regardless of their race, their religion, their creed.
The rest were
Crazy.
identified as gang members
Crazy.
or had criminal history in their home countries. These weren't people who just overstayed their visas. These were dangerous criminals on the streets of Connecticut.
And here at the scene right now of a protest, protesting what the feds called Operation Broken Trust. That name, Broken Trust, invokes the name of the Connecticut state law, the Trust Act, which limits cooperation between local and state cops and ICE.
ICE was particularly active in Dunbury, where they arrested multiple convicted sex offenders and violent criminals. Among those nabbed in Dunbury was a man convicted of drug charges,
Yeah,
harassment,
Danbury is
carrying
about
prohibited weapons,
an hour
cruelty towards a
from me.
child, and obscene communication. In Stamford, they arrested a man with convictions for robbery, assault, and breach of peace. These are violent criminals walking around Connecticut communities, potentially near schools and families.
According to ICE, 65 undocumented immigrants were apprehended who either have serious crime charges in the U.S., are part of a transnational gang, or have crime charges in their home country.
ICE specifically targeted people with serious criminal charges in the United States. Transnational gang members or those with criminal charges in their home country. The youngest was 19 from Guatemala. The oldest was 51 from Peru. The others came from countries like India, Ecuador, and El Salvador. Now here's where the story exposes the insanity of Connecticut's sanctuary policies that protect criminals from deportation. ICE said sanctuary legislation forces law enforcement professionals to release criminal alien offenders back into the very communities that they've already victimized. Connecticut's Trust Act expanded in May, and it makes it even harder for local police to cooperate with federal immigration agents.
Governor Ned Lamont, who just yesterday told the Trump administration it would not alter the Trust Act, said about the ICE sting, as this action proves, nothing in Connecticut law prevented immigration officials from conducting these enforcement efforts contrary to their own agency's assertions.
Governor Ned Lamont defended the Trust Act, claiming nothing in Connecticut law prevented immigration officers from conducting these enforcement efforts. But in my opinion, that's missing the point. Sanctuary policies force ICE to conduct dangerous street arrests instead of safe jail pickups.
While Republicans like State Senator Stephen Harding and Rob Sampson called the arrests excellent news. And, quote, Connecticut Republicans will continue to stand for law and order, and we will continue to stand with victims of violent crime.
Finally, some politicians who care more about protecting citizens instead of protecting illegal amigos. Now, here's where the story gets really outrageous. A Democratic state representative actually tried to help criminals avoid arrests. We've seen this before.
It also saw one of its state representatives, Democrat Corey Paris, post on social media alerting his followers to reports of ICE
He should be in
activity.
jail.
He told them to stay vigilant and share any information about ICE operations with local advocacy organizations.
He
should
told
be in
them
jail.
to stay vigilant and share information about ICE operations with local advocacy organizations. This is a sitting legislator helping criminals avoid federal law enforcement.
That statement was then posted by the conservative social media account Libs of TikTok and viewed by more than 2 million people. The account called for Paris to be charged with impeding ICE. ICE itself reposted Libs of TikTok, tagging the Justice Department.
Even federal agents were disgusted by this interference.
Paris said he's received death threats in the days since. The state police are investigating, and elected leaders on both sides expressed outrage.
While death threats are never acceptable, this shows what happens when politicians prioritize protecting criminals over protecting citizens. Let's look at how these arrests actually went down, because it shows the reality of what ICE agents face when sanctuary policies force street operations.
New footage from Norwalk as two brothers from Mexico were arrested by federal agents. Seen here, one brother attempted to run away when he was tased and fell down. The other brother can be heard yelling in the background and asked to see the agent's arrest warrants.
One brother tried to run as he was tased, while the other demands to see arrest warrants. This is what happens when criminals think that they can avoid the consequences of sanctuary jurisdictions.
Not everyone approves of how these arrests went down.
And people, especially law enforcement officials, have to be accountable for their actions, and they have to be identifiable to make sure that if something did go wrong, we can identify the officer.
Of course, critics complain about how these arrests were conducted, demanding that law enforcement be accountable and identifiable. But these are federal agents arresting violent criminals who were protected by sanctuary policies. They did their job professionally. All 65 individuals are expected to remain in ICE custody while they go through removal proceedings or are formally deported. This means 65 criminals are off the streets of Connecticut, including 29 with serious criminal convictions. America, this story perfectly illustrates the battle between federal law enforcement trying to protect communities and Democratic politicians who prioritize protecting criminals over protecting citizens. Operation Broken Trust removed 65 dangerous individuals from Connecticut communities in just 4 days, including convicted rapists, child predators, gang members, and violent criminals. These weren't just random arrests. ICE specifically targeted the worst of the worst. But instead of celebrating the removal of dangerous criminals, Democratic politicians attacked the operation, and one even tried to help criminals avoid arrest by posting ICE locations on social media. This shows you exactly where their priorities lie. Connecticut's Trust Act forces ICE to conduct dangerous street arrests instead of safe jail pickups, putting both law enforcement and public safety at greater risk. Sanctuary policies do not protect communities. They protect criminals from consequences. The political response tells you everything that you need to know. Republicans celebrate removal of violent criminals from their communities, while Democrats call it terror and disgusting attacks and kidnapping. One party wants to protect citizens. The other wants to protect criminals. This is exactly why Americans voted for Trump and support aggressive immigration enforcement. We're tired of sanctuary policies that protect rapists, and gang members while putting law-abiding citizens at risk. 65 criminals removed from Connecticut streets can no longer victimize innocent people. That's what real community safety looks like, not the sanctuary policies that enable their crimes in the first place. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, back to back. So we're gonna see if we get to upload in the next few minutes. Maybe we could watch that. But thank you, Tyson, for that awesome reporting from my state of Connecticut, where I live. Which I can confirm a lot of that he's reporting, you know, because I'm living in the hole here. Maybe I should do some B-roll for Tyson. Maybe I should go do some B-roll and then send it to him. Say, yo, Tyson, yo, you want to use these? What's up with Connecticut? And I can show him like how the illegals are here in Connecticut. It's a lot. They're all over here, and crime is really high. Like, you would not catch me in Hartford nowhere past, like, when the sun goes down, you better leave that area because it just gets active. People get shot a lot. A lot of people, innocent people, have been killed. The crime rate here is super disgustingly high, but they'll probably change it and say, you know, oh no, it was just someone needed to be taken to the hospital type of report, right? Don't put it as a serious crime so we could like falsify the numbers. Yeah, it just doesn't add up with like seeing it in the news, seeing it in person. Like, there's so much shit that goes on. It's really wild. And there is, you know, people out here that are on fentanyl, and there's people out here that are on a lot of heroin individuals. There's a lot of like craziness here in Connecticut. You know, we're part of that beltway where we have access. The way from New York to Canada is through, they usually come through Connecticut and they go straight up on 91 and go straight to Canada. I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna go to Canada. I don't know if I'm gonna go to Canada. But I think I'm gonna go to Vermont during the winter, possibly after a snowstorm. I just want to go and see how beautiful the mountain looks with the snow. And then I want to spend a good amount of time in the jacuzzi, in a nice hot jacuzzi. And the hotels up there, they have hot jacuzzis and hot pools. And it's very good for the body. Oh, I'm looking forward to it this winter. But I think we're gonna get a good amount of snow this year. It's been getting cold early. It's been in the 50s. Last night it was like in the 60s. Tonight it's supposed to be like 64, but then it's supposed to drop again into the 50s, low 50s. That's usually when I turn off the AC and leave the window open, so get a nice cool breeze coming in. I like it. I like the fall and I like winter. Definitely got to control the window a lot during winter because I like it cold, but I don't like it too cold. But I have a good heating system, so it does warm up, and I like to sleep on average like 64. I would say 64 degrees, is my sleeping average. Anywhere between like 64, 65. The colder, the better. Like 63 is probably, 62 is probably the best. But I think 63 would be awesome to sleep, and nice cold and under their warm blanket. And I radiate a lot of heat at night. I'm like a human, like heater. I'm basically a human heater because my body stays really warm, and that's why I have the AC and I stay cool. And yeah, anyhow, but I'm just killing time to see if this video is going to be uploaded. The Tyson video. Usually I get a message when it gets uploaded. I hope he's doing an upload. And then if I get off of here and then watch it pop up, because it usually does that. I just saw a video here. Hold on. How do I let's see. I want to see a video. It's a shorts. So let me set it up. It's okay, give me a second. See on StreamYard. Okay, let's watch this shorts real quick. I got uploaded the video. This guy.
Just put a belly. I have some belly chains over here.
He's crying. He's accused of Russian roulette murder attempt.
Just put a belly
during ICE arrest.
I have some belly chains over here.
Wow. That's. Hey, you shouldn't have came to the United States. You would have saved yourself a big ass headache. Tyson's video got uploaded. Yay! I knew it was this time. I know I have this timed out. I know it's around 10:15 that upload comes up. It's scheduled. So let me get it. Where is it? It's over here. Let me get it open. Okay, let me set it up for us. You know, we always gotta set it up. So let me set it up. I'm excited because that way we can see the last Tyson for the night. We got another back-to-back 3 shows of Tyson to close out the night. Here we go. Let's watch this together.
Semi-truck driver accused of making an illegal U-turn and causing a deadly crash is in jail in St. Lucie County tonight. Harjinger Singh was extradited back to Florida from California overnight. The feds say he's in the country illegally.
America, the American Trucking Association has been lying to us for decades about a massive truck driver shortage that doesn't even exist. There are 10 million Americans with active commercial driver's license, but instead of improving pay and working conditions to retain drivers, trucking companies convince the government to import cheap foreign labor who can't read English or road signs. But here's what's really sick. When these unqualified drivers cause deadly accidents, like Harjinger Singh killing 3 people in Florida, The same industry that created this mess blames individual drivers instead of their corrupt system. Because this isn't just about immigration, this is about corporate greed, using fake shortage narratives to exploit foreign workers while destroying American truckers and putting everyone at risk on the roads. The corruption here is absolutely insane.
Please, I beg you, let me explain you about these Mexican tags in America. This tag, see the collar? This is a Mexican national. He's supposed to come to America with a load from Mexico, drop it, and leave right back. They don't.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story exposes one of the biggest corporate lies in America and shows you how corruption in the trucking industry is literally killing people on our highways. Let me destroy one of the biggest lies in American transportation in this so-called truck driver shortage that the American Trucking Association has pushed on us for decades.
Big a worry is it right now that we can't find enough truckers?
Well, it is a problem. It's been a problem. We remember, Neil, we came into the pandemic with a shortage of about 61,000 drivers. I'm certain the new numbers, when they come out, will be a bit more inflated because of the pandemic. But as we exit, we are going to have that problem. It's a long-term problem that we need to do multiple things to address.
The American Trucking Association, the corporate lobby group for big trucking companies, has been claiming a massive driver shortage for decades. But here's their smoking gun. In their 2019 report about the driver shortage, they admitted in the footnotes that there are 10 million people with active CDLs in America. 10 million Americans have commercial driver's license. If there are 10 million people qualified to drive trucks, how can there be a shortage? The answer is simple. There is no shortage. There's a retention problem. These companies can't keep drivers because they refuse to improve pay and working conditions.
I hate to say this, but the driver shortage is a system of stealth corporate welfare masked as a jobs program, which debases drivers' wages by subsidizing the truckers' retention problem. There actually was never any driver shortage.
Millions of Americans with CDLs aren't working in the trucking business anymore because they experience what everybody calls burnout, and they said no thank you. Instead of fixing their business model and treating the workers better, these companies convince the government that there's a shortage so they can import and exploit cheap labor.
So the truck driver shortage is a narrative pushed by the ATA, the American Trucking Association, which actually doesn't represent truck drivers. They represent mega retail carriers and what they do and how they lobby to the FMCSA there in Washington. So there's no shortage of qualified CDL drivers in the United States. What we're looking at is a huge turnover issue that would happen for a lot of these companies. Now
let's examine the Harjinder Singh case that perfectly illustrates how this corrupt system kills Americans. Harjinder Singh came into the United States in 2018, was detained and slated for deportation, but made an asylum claim. The claim was rejected, but somehow he wasn't deported. When Biden came into power, this guy was approved to stay despite having no legal right to actually be here.
Here's more from Secretary Duffy on X posting, "Here's what we know. Washington State improperly issued the driver a full-term commercial driver's license. Asylum seekers or illegal aliens are not allowed to receive this."
Then California let him transfer and keep it despite his lack of work authorization. New Mexico pulled Singh over for speeding but failed to conduct an English language proficiency test that would have removed him from the road.
They're also looking into California's issuance of the commercial driver's license. The failures here are despicable, and non-enforcement and radical immigration policies have turned the trucking industry into a lawless frontier.
This wasn't a mistake. This was systematic corruption across multiple states, not just in California, ignoring federal law and safety requirements. Now, here's where the corruption gets really sophisticated. It's called the chameleon carrier. It's a scam that lets dangerous trucking companies avoid accountability. When trucking companies rack up too many safety violations, here's what they do. They transfer all their trucks into a new LLC with a different type of motor carrier number. Same people, same drivers, same trucks, but now they have a clean safety record on paper. You'll see these trucks with cardboard signs duct taped to the sides because they're consistently changing company names. During my research, I discovered that there's actually an aftermarket where people buy and sell clean motor carrier numbers. It's like buying fake identities for trucking companies. This type of corruption has some serious and real consequences. Multiple bridge collapse caused by drivers who can't read English road signs. Indiana, Michigan, and other states have had bridge bridges destroyed by drivers who can't read signs that say maximum weight is 6 tons. Now, let me show you the bigger picture on how this connects to economic exploitation on a massive scale. India received $129 billion in remittance from around the world in 2024. This is money that people working in other countries send back to India. Some experts call this economic terrorism. India sending people everywhere to grab whatever money they can and send it back home. How much of that $129 billion came from truck drivers working in America and Canada? It's a good question. We don't know. Meanwhile, American truckers are being driven out of business by companies exploiting foreign cheap labor. FreightWave has a section called Layoffs and Bankruptcy that documents American trucking companies closing and American drivers being laid off full time. For 3 years straight, legacy carriers who have been around for generations are actually going out of business. Meanwhile, nonprofits and the Biden administration kept claiming there's a driver shortage, so we need to give jobs to refugees and migrants. The American freight market has been in recession for 3 years, but they're still importing more foreign drivers. And guys, here's the ultimate hypocrisy. When articles exposing the Biden trucking action plan flooding the industry with foreign labor, the American Trucking Association said claims about migrants stealing American jobs were false. When Trump issued the executive order about English language proficiency, the same ATA thanked Trump for this common sense safety measure. They went from calling it false to praising the exact same policy in 6 weeks. America, this story exposes one of the most dangerous, corrupt lies in our country. A fake truck driver shortage that's killing people on our highways. 10 million Americans have commercial driver's license, but instead of improving pay and working conditions to retain drivers, the truck industry convinced the government to import cheap, exploitable foreign labor who can't read English road signs or understand American traffic laws. The Harjinger Singh case shows exactly how the system works. Reject asylum seekers getting CDLs illegally, states ignore federal law, and dangerous drivers stay on the road until they kill Americans. The chameleon carrier scam lets dangerous companies avoid accountability by constantly changing their identities. Bridge collapses happen because drivers can't read weight limit signs. American truckers lose their job while foreign workers send billions of dollars back to their home country. The American Trucking Association lies about shortages while praising the same safety measures they previously called false. This isn't just about immigration. This is about corporate greed, using fake narratives to exploit workers and endanger public safety. The trucking industry has been lying to us for decades, and Americans are dying because of the corruption. Every time you're on the highway, you're sharing the road with a potential dangerous driver who got their license through a corrupt process. The next truck you see might be driven by someone who can't read a road sign or understand basic traffic laws. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
And that's the last one tonight. I'm ready to go to bed. How about you? Thank you for watching. I appreciate those who came by. And yeah, my eyes are just like super tired. I'm really tired. Had a long day. Tomorrow I gotta go buy candles. Actually, gonna go buy tea light candles. I gotta go get like 1,000 of them. I need to start a tea light candle donation group to buy, because I always turn on tea lights. Like, I have tea lights all over. It just brings a lot of good energy. The flame, the heat, the glow. Especially when I go like lights out. I usually do lights out. And when I do that, it's all dark and I only have the candles lit. It's very beautiful. But tomorrow, I'm gonna see if I do a show in the morning. If I don't, I'll probably do it in the evening, just because I gotta go buy these candles in the morning. And the place I go to, they open at 11 in the morning. So, and then the wrestling event starts at 2 p.m. And the wrestling in Paris Clash in Paris. So I'll be watching that tomorrow. And it starts at a special time, 2 p.m. So it's an early wrestling show. And there's another show, I believe, in the evening time with the NXT. So very busy wrestling day tomorrow. And that's it. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And I'll see if tomorrow, if I do a show, it could probably be in the evening time. If I don't get to do it in the morning, I'll probably just do it in the evening. Just because I got to get these candles. It's like I got to get 10 packs of 100 candles. I got to get 10 of them. And that'll last me a good while. It'll last me a good while. But we'll see. I'm so tired. I had a long day. It was a really good long day. But with that said, have a good rest of your weekend and stay peaceful, my friends. Good night. Peace.